Getting started here. No, we're going to start here. What are we doing? Technical difficulties, folks. Bear with me. Start here, you fucking piece of shit. Thank you. Loud. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Relief Valve Podcast. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus as a bug has been making its way through the family, so I haven't been able to do the normal show, and just so much going on, I didn't want to wait until Sunday to really pack everything in. So, I wanted to do, as I've teased before, a weekly update. And I'm trying to set everything up here, and of course it's not cooperating. And that's the way it works. But so hello everyone, how are you doing? How's your week going so far? Mine, I've been in bed binge watching Below Decks, that stupid show with the life of the crew that do private yachts and sailboats and stuff, and they're all knuckleheads and people just hooking up with each other. But when you're sick and you're in bed, it's a cool show to binge watch. So let's talk about Dan Bongino, Don Lemon, and Tucker Carlson all receiving the same message. You're fired! What? Yes, they all got the same. We're going to shut that shit off.
Smell amazing.
You smell amazing. Oh my god, what a shit commercial. So, yes, they've all been fired. Let's start with, at first, when I first got all of this, I was very happy to hear, because Don Lemon's was the first one that happened. And I was very happy to hear Don Lemon was fired. In fact, it was way overdue for him. He's just a ridiculous gay man who hates America, who hates people that are white. Ironically, his boyfriend's white. But hates everyone that's white and just hates conservatives and hates everything that doesn't follow his twisted ideology. But the news comes as Lemon has been at the center of a string of controversies over his on-air comments and treatment of female colleagues. Don Lemon was terminated from his anchor role at CNN, he announced Monday. The news comes after Variety published a story earlier this month on allegations that he mistreated his female colleagues over the course of his career there, and earlier this year he faced backlash over widely criticized comments he made on air. Let's get rid of that. Lemon announced the news on his Twitter, saying he was informed by his agent that he was being terminated. "I'm stunned," Lemon wrote. "After 17 years at CNN, I would have thought someone in management would have had the decency to tell me directly." In a tweet, CNN refuted Lemon's account as inaccurate. Fake news. The network said he was offered a chance to meet with management and instead released a statement on Twitter. That sounds like something Lemon would do. CNN CEO Chris Light said that, Light? Said the network and Lemon have parted ways, according to a memo provided to NBC News Monday. "Don will forever be a part of the CNN family, and we thank him for his contributions over the past 17 years of being a shitbag," the statement said. "We wished him well and will be cheering him in his future endeavors." No, you won't, and neither will anyone else. But the 5 people that are upset that he was fired. Lemon has been with CNN since 2006, joining the network after anchoring at NBC Chicago and working as a correspondent for NBC News, The Today Show, and NBC Nightly News. Lemon first came under fire in February during a segment on CNN This Morning in which he remarked the Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley, 51, was no longer in her prime. The comment was made while discussing a suggestion by Haley that candidates over the age of 75 should be subjected to mental competency exams. Nikki, then what about Dementia Joe? Because he's way over the fucking hill, and that guy doesn't even know what he's saying or doing anymore. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry, Lemon said. When a woman is considered to be in her prime, it's her 20s, 30s, and maybe 40s. When pushed by co-anchor Poppy Harlow, Lemon told her to not shoot the messenger. Licht told employees that Lemon agreed to partake in training following public backlash to his comments. He also told Semaphore earlier this month that both CNN and Lemon have moved on from the issue. Don Lemon is a lightning rod because he really came to prominence during an era where that was celebrated and encouraged in prime time, Light said. Licht? But a Variety report published April 5th alleged that Lemon has a long history of questionable behavior towards women. The report was based on more than a dozen former and current colleagues, Variety said, who described Lemon as openly hostile to women at the network. Most of the sources spoke anonymously to the outlet. NBC News has not independently verified the allegations. A spokesperson for Lemon said in a statement to NBC News following the report that it was amazing and disappointing that Variety would be so reckless. The story, which is riddled with patently false anecdotes and no concrete evidence, is entirely based on unsourced, unsubstantiated 15-year-old anonymous gossip, the statement said. Responding to an NBC News request for comment, CNN referred to statements it made to Variety that Lemon denied the allegations and that the network regarding a specific allegation from 2008 was unable to corroborate the alleged events from 15 years ago. Lemon's termination comes less than 2 years after former anchor Chris Como, and we'll see if he ends up on whatever shit news organization Como's on, if they'll put the dynamic duo of morons back together again, was fired from the network. Como, who anchored his own primetime show for CNN, was fired in December 21 after an attorney general investigation into sexual misconduct allegations against his brother, former Governor Andrew Cuomo. The investigation revealed the depth of Cuomo's role in helping his brother fight the allegations. He had previously disclosed some conversations with his brother, but the Attorney General report revealed a greater level of involvement than CNN was aware of, the network said at the time. Cuomo filed legal action against CNN, seeking $125 million for wrongful termination last year, which is still pending. And we here at the Relief Valve podcast wish Don Lemon no luck whatsoever. I hope you go away, you fade into obscurity, never to be seen or heard from again. Unfortunately, that won't be the case. He'll end up, after he calms down from the indignity of all of it, because he's one of those angry, sissy gay men. So once he's calmed down from the indignity of it all, he'll get an offer from some other shit news organization, and he'll suck up his pride and he'll go work there instead, maybe with his buddy Como. So now Bongino's is a little different. I know I said all fired kind of in the show notes here, but in Bongino's case, it was contract negotiations that didn't bear any fruit. So, Fox just had this most recent Dominion lawsuit where they got out of it by paying an extremely large settlement. It was like $250 million, something like that. One of the largest payouts in history in this regard between a news organization and another entity. So, it's possible that Fox is trying to cut costs all over the place. But Dan Bongino, so now we go to the Fox side here. Dan Bongino said he's leaving Fox News unfiltered, and the host cites failed contract talks. Fox News host Dan Bongino is leaving the network after the conservative commentator said he and the outlet could not come to terms on a new contract. Folks, regretfully, last week was my last show on Fox News, Bongino said Thursday on his podcast. It's tough. It's tough to say that, I've been doing their hits and working there for 10 years, so the show ending was tough. Bongino hosted the Saturday night show Unfiltered and said while he was given the chance to do a last show this weekend, he decided against it. I want you to know it's not some big conspiracy, the former New York City Police Department officer said in his podcast. I promise you there's no acrimony. This wasn't a WWE brawl that happened. We just couldn't come to terms on an extension. We thank Dan for his contributions and wish him success in his future endeavors, Fox said in a statement released to USA Today on Friday. Bongino, an author who also served as a Secret Service agent from 1999 to 2011 and ran for Congress unsuccessfully as a Republican 3 times. Here's some Twitter posts here, and here's a little bit of his commentary on it.
Folks, regretfully, last week was my last show on Fox News, on the Fox News channel. I haven't told Joe that. I know he was in the office with me noon before the show. I did let my team know here this morning, and it's tough. It's tough to say that.
So, I'm assuming he has a private podcast on his own, not just on Fox, and he's going to continue in that regard. So, I like Dan. He's a straight shooter, and we here at the Relief Valve Podcast wish him the best in his endeavors. Canceled in the USA, Hits Canceled in the USA program on Fox Nation will also end, and the streaming service will no longer air his daily radio show. Bongino may still appear as a guest on Fox shows, the network said. Bongino's YouTube ban last year. YouTube permanently banned Bongino. The popular video service run by Google said Bongino tried to circumvent a one-week ban for spreading COVID-19 misinformation on one channel by posting on another channel, resulting in a permanent suspension, or as we call it here in the real world, the truth about COVID-19. His announcement comes on the heels of Fox Corporation agreeing to settle a defamation lawsuit filed against the network over its broadcast of the 2020 presidential election. The network and Dominion Voting Systems agreed to, $787.5 million settlement Tuesday. Tuesday, just as attorneys were set to outline their case to jurors ahead of testimony in what has been the most closely watched media trial in decades. Dominion sued Fox News and his parent corporation in 2021, claiming the network knowingly broadcast lies being perpetuated by former President Donald Trump and his attorneys as he clung to power in the months after his 2020 election loss. Details of the settlement were not immediately available, aside from the frickin' ridiculous amount they paid. So, it's possible here, as we're seeing all of these moves, that Fox doesn't have the money to pay all of their big-time hosts. Now, why you'd want to keep Hannity, who's just a right-wing hack, he loves Mitch McConnell and the other old guard dogs of the Republican Party who don't give a shit about the American people. Hannity's all about them. And, Laura Ingram's just another talking head over there, too. Tucker Carlson was their biggest pull-in, their biggest and most popular host, and they decided to get rid of him. This, in my opinion, I don't care what happened behind the scenes or what their motivation is for getting rid of Tucker, that is things he said about Dominion or about something else that's the reason that they cut him away as a liability or whatever it was. This is a stupid move. On behalf of Fox, losing Bongino and losing Tucker, and then you're stuck with Hannity and Ingram. Like, I see Fox going downhill. I personally, and again, I've said on the show last week, boycott Anheuser-Busch and all of their products for bringing on Dylan Mulvaney as a sponsor and doing this little money giveaway with that guy. I said boycott them. I'm certainly going to. And that's my personal opinion and a recommendation I make to others. If you feel strongly about these issues, with the power of your wallet, the power of the purse, boycott these companies. Boycott Nike as well, because they're defending and Dylan Mulvaney and also doing business with Dylan Mulvaney. But in this particular instance here, I say boycott Fox. I already got, full disclosure, I already got rid of the Fox Nation app a while ago. I'm not gonna show bravado and claim that I just did it as a result of this move of getting rid of Tucker, but I got rid of it a while ago because I really only use the app to watch Tucker, and then some of the specials that they had going on were interesting, but the app was currently always having issues. But I got rid of it a while ago. But my recommendation for everybody out there would be, for at this point, boycott Fox News, get rid of the Fox Nation app. You can't see Tucker on it anymore. You can't see Bongino on it anymore. And sure, they're doing some specials, and that's interesting. But it's some of them are interesting, but it's not worth having it, especially with making moves like this and getting rid of your number one guy. So let's get into this here. Fox News Media, Tucker Carlson part ways. We thank him for his service in the network as a host, and prior to that as a contributor, a Fox News Media spokesperson said. Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have agreed to part ways, the network announced on Monday. We thank him for his service to the network as a host and prior to that as a contributor, a Fox News Media spokesperson said in the statement. An interim program, Fox News Tonight, will air at 8 p.m. Eastern until a permanent replacement for Carlson is named. Fox News Tonight will be hosted by a rotation of various Fox News personalities that you won't give a shit about, because none of them are worth listening to or watching. It was Tucker that was the interesting one. The last edition of Tucker Carlson Tonight aired on Friday, April 21st. The show began airing in 2016. Before the launch of Tucker Carlson Tonight, Carlson was co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend from 2012 through 16. Carlson previously served as an MSNBC host from 2005 to 2008 and also appeared on CNN earlier in his career. He founded the Daily Caller in 2010 but sold his stake in the political news website in 2020. And some of my information said that he didn't even have the opportunity to say goodbye or do a final show. He was just unceremoniously fired. I seriously doubt Fox is going to have anything else to say over this. I'm looking at, they're obviously not going to get into details about internal stuff. I'm going to see, I'm just looking through some of their new stuff here, and I'm going to see if they had anything else to say. So no, it doesn't appear that they do, but I'm not really surprised by that. So I'm going to go to the Daily Wire. I'm going to see if they have a little bit more details on this. Bud Light pours have plummeted at bars, restaurants across the U.S. beer tech company. Good. I'm glad that people are sticking with this and they're still boycotting it. Just bear with me 1 second here, folks. All right. So Tucker Carlson leaving Fox News. And this is Bing News, so this is going to be more of a left-wing source, but we'll see what they have to say. Fox loses $500 million in value after Tucker Carlson's exit. Fox Corporation's worth as a public company has sunk more than $500 million after the media company on Monday announced it is parting ways with star host Tucker Carlson, raising questions about the future of Fox News and the future of conservative networks' primetime lineup. Carlson, whose last show was on Friday, April 21st, is leaving Fox News even as he remains a top-rated host for the network, drawing 334,000 viewers in the coveted 25 to 54-year-old demographic in the 8 p.m. slot for the week ended April 20th. I actually thought he was at a million viewers, so I'm surprised it was just a 334. That was more than twice the audience of his competitors at CNN and MSNBC in the same hour, and also represented a bigger audience than other Fox News hosts such as Sean Hannity or Laura Ingraham. That's what I was just saying. He was their top guy. Shares of Fox dropped 17 cents, or 0.6% on Tuesday, to $29.74 a share. Since the close of trading on Friday, the stock has declined 3.5% between the Dominion lawsuit and now this action. Carlson's abrupt departure comes less than a week after Fox reached the $787 million settlement with Dominion. In the near term, the financial impact on Fox may be minimal because advertisers typically book their slots in advance. But if the ratings really crater, there could be an issue, Joseph Bonner, senior securities analyst at Argus Research, told CBS Money Watch. He added, intermediate to long term, perhaps there is some financial impact depending on who takes Carlson's place and their success or lack thereof. Fox News said that it will air Fox News Tonight at 8 p.m. on Monday as an interim program until a new host is named. The programming change may be due to the need for Fox News to attract more mainstream advertisers, noted Hubbard research analyst Doug Arthur in a research note. Advertising at Fox Cable Network has been weak and disappointing despite its dominance in ratings. Shifting away from fanatical conspiracy content, less My Pillow stuff, might begin to re-attract big-time advertisers, he wrote, referring to the company owned by Mike Lindell, the businessman who has promoted election conspiracies in the wake of President Donald Trump's loss in the 2020 election. But we all know about election conspiracies. I mean, on my show, we've been going over conspiracies that were all true. And yeah, there was election interference in the election, and Trump should have been president. Carlson became a focal point in the Dominion case after documents revealed scornful text messages from him about former President Donald Trump, including one that said, "I hate him passionately." That's interesting. The host's comments about Fox management, which also emerged in the Dominion case, played a role in his leaving the network, the Washington Post reported, citing a personal familiar with Fox's thinking. On his final show on Friday, Carlson gave no indication that it would be his final appearance. Responses to his departure ranged from glee, with the audience of The View reportedly breaking into applause. "I love this child. I love that Tucker's gone. My ass is so big it takes 2 chairs for me to sit down, child." Fuck those bitches over at The View. To disappointment, with Eric Trump tweeting, "What is happening to Fox?" Some social media users decried Carlson's exit, with others also urging viewers to contact their cable providers to complain. "Fox News has fired Tucker Carlson because they are going woke," one commentator wrote. The departure means that Fox News is losing a top audience draw, coming several years after the network cut ties with Bill O'Reilly. We got 9 teens wounded in a Texas party shooting. A string of shootings, like there's something in the water. We'll take a look at that real quick before we wrap up the show. So, can Fox produce a new star? O'Reilly left the network in 2017 after sexual harassment claims were filed against him, with Carlson taking his spot in the 8 p.m. hour, but Carlson's ratings are far below O'Reilly, who averaged about 728,000 viewers aged 25 to 54 in the first quarter of 2017, according to The Hollywood Reporter. By comparison, Carlson's viewership in that demographic during the first 3 months of his year averaged 443,000. While commentators may talk about the sky falling at the loss of a major star, Fox has done quite well at producing new stars over time, Bonner noted. "We need to think about how much is it about the person and how much is the platform." At the same time, Carlson is facing allegations from a former employee about the network's toxic work environment. Abby Grossberg, who worked as head of booking on the Carlson show, claimed last month in court papers that she endured an environment that subjugates women based on vile sexist stereotypes, typecasts religious minorities, and battles their traditions. Oh my God, she sounds like a fucking leftist. And demonstrates little to no regard for those who are suffering from mental illness. Oh yeah, she's a leftist, all right. How the fuck did they hire her? Grossberg, aptly named, also alleged Fox's legal team coerced her into providing misleading testimony in Dominion's defamation case. In a statement issued Monday, Grossberg called Carlson's departure, "It's a step towards accountability for the election lies and baseless conspiracy theory spread by Fox News, who I also work for, because I'm a mentally ill hypocrite." Something I witnessed firsthand at the network, as well as the abuse and harassment I endured while head of booking and senior producer for Tucker Carlson tonight, while getting paid very well for doing that, I'm sure. Shut the fuck up. So, there you go. Another left-wing bitch, pissing and moaning. And that's, you know, as more comes out about this, assuming that that's released, we'll get more information on if there's any details about all of their releases. I mean, Don Lemon was a piece of shit. He was a liar, a race baiter. Him and Como were saying that the protests and the BLM riots were mostly peaceful, while cars and buildings were burning in the background while they were doing the report. I mean, they were absolute propagators of lies, misinformation, and the race baiting and hate of this nation. So Don Lemon should have been gone ages ago. He should have been gone with Como, and he should have been gone with Mr. Potato Head over there, the Brian Stelter they already got rid of. Never mind all the morons at MSNBC. I mean, I need a whole nother show to talk to you about every moron on MSNBC. The whole network should be shut down. Never mind getting rid of a couple of the stupid talking heads over there. But it's, you know, after this happened, it got me thinking about what I'm doing here and what other podcasters are doing. And this is just one more sign, in case you needed more, that traditional legacy news is not the way to get your news anymore. Podcasters like myself, and like Louder with Crowder, and Tim Pool, and others that are out there independently doing it, and we end up being funded by you, right? Tim Pool's on YouTube. He's got the super chats. People are independently donating to him. You know, he started his own coffee company as well. But then you get away from the sponsors. You get away from the ad reads. It's the people that are holding you up, and it's the people that you are accountable to legitimately, right? It's not like a Fox News who's owned by, Murdoch or somebody else, this dark figure in the background that really doesn't share your values, and they're beholden to corporate America more than they are offering you any truth to power about what's going on in the news. Whereas you've got someone like me and these other podcasters, you can interact with them more directly. If you like the show, you can support it. If you don't like the show, then you don't support it. Very simple. And then it either grows or it goes nowhere. But by the power of the people, that's how it all moves forward. And I said this from my very first episodes. If you go through them and just get an idea of who I am and why I'm doing the show, I have said from the beginning that the taxpayers of this country are the voice and the power of this country. And of course, we're the ones that they've tried to silence and take that power from. Or even more so, we've kind of allowed them to do it. We've let that power slip through our fingers so that we've got these idiots in Congress who now act like the Hollywood rock stars of politics. They're too cool and too important for you. And they don't have time for you except when they need your votes. And then they'll string you a line of bullshit so that they get voted in. And then once they get in, they all go to their special interests. It doesn't matter if they're Republicans or Democrats. You think the Democrats are for the people and they don't accept bribes and backroom deals, you're wrong. The Democrats do it all the time. They just try to keep it much more hidden than the Republicans do. But it's still easy to find that they do this. So this move to getting away from the legacy media and getting more towards private podcasters like myself, in my opinion, not just as a podcaster, but as an individual person who also listens to other people's shows and gets news from there and gets updates from them too. So as one of you that are consuming this information, I like that it's individual podcasters who are directly accountable to the people. There aren't corporate ads being pumped onto their show. There's not other special interests that are trying to buy their way into their shows. It's you making the donations, or you start up a company and then, like, with Tim Pool, as I mentioned, then you're buying his coffee. So again, you're taking an extra action to support his show, aside from the the super chats and other things like that. But it's the people that are supporting it. It's like this. You see those startups on Facebook, right? This new this company is trying to make a robot or a new car concept or something, and they go, we're looking for private donations to get our company off the ground. If you donate a certain amount, you'll automatically have stocks in the company when it takes off. So you have the opportunity to get into the very beginnings of a brand new company, and that, yes, it's a risk, but if it takes off and it becomes more, you're a part of that. And that's something I think we should start gravitating to for the news with podcasters. So supporting all these shows, supporting me if you like this show. We're on YouTube, we're on Rumble. I have PayPal currently set up. That link is in the show. And also on the audio portion, we're on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, still going back and forth trying to fix Spotify, and about a half a dozen other ones that Buzzsprout automatically disseminates to. We're all on there. If you click the support the show button, it'll take you to the PayPal, and you can monetarily donate to the show. And that helps me pay for it, grow it, and keep it going. And in my opinion, this is the best way, as a biased person doing a podcast, this is the best way to move forward, is getting your news from independent news sources like this. Some are going to be neutral, some are going to claim they're going to be neutral, and some will very clearly tell you where they lean. I'll tell you this is a conservative leaning show. I have a conservative bias. I'm not going to lie to anyone about that and try and rope you in that I'm coming into it from a neutral standpoint, but I'm actually secretly, one thing or the other. But I will say I always try to put the truth of everything out on the show. If I have an opinion about a matter, I'm going to state that it's my opinion, not that I'm actually giving you the facts of the story. If there's an issue, I'm going to correct it. I've corrected it in the past. I'll continue to do so. And it's being as open and honest with this show as I possibly can. That's my goal. But I am a conservative, so my reading and my approach of all of this and the opinion portion of it is going to come from a conservative stance. But I think everybody, come on over. Leave Fox News. Leave CNN. Leave, whether you're having a change of mind and you're sick of legacy media or whatever it is. Leave and get away from all this shit. Go to independent podcasters and get your news. Daily Wire is another one. And get your news from these other sources. And at my show, the Relief Valve Podcast, get your news from this. But my personal recommendation is boycott Fox News. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look to alternative sources to get my news articles from and not use Fox News at all. So I'm eventually going to filter them out. But one more thing to boycott. This is a stupid move by Fox News. They never should have gotten rid of Tucker Carlson. I wish him the best, and I'm interested to see where he's going to pop up after this. Like James O'Keefe went to the, what did he start? The OMG network now, because he left Project Veritas and he started up his own new company now. So he's back out there doing his thing. I think it's OMG. And he's already gone after Dylan Mulvaney and was interviewing him about some trans issue or something. So he's already out there back at it doing his thing. But let's finish up here. So this just came in this morning as I was doing the news. The American Military News reporting 9 teens wounded in a prom after-party shooting in Texas. 9 teenagers were wounded in a shooting at a prom after-party in East Texas early Sunday morning. Gunfire erupted shortly after midnight at a home in Jasper, police said. All 9 victims suffered injuries not considered life-threatening. The Jasper County Sheriff's Office said no suspects were immediately arrested. The investigation is ongoing and people of interest are being questioned, the Sheriff's Office wrote on Facebook. The teens were gathered after prom in Jasper, about 115 miles northeast of Houston, according to police. All 9 victims were between 15 and 19 years old. Police told local ABC affiliate KMBT, while most victims were treated at a Jasper hospital, some were transported about 60 miles south to a hospital in Beaumont. The shooting happened 1 week after 4 people were killed and 32 others were wounded in a shooting at a 16th birthday party in Alabama. I never had the chance to get to that story. 5 people have been arrested in connection with that shooting, with police making the 4th and 5th arrests on Thursday. Police have not publicly speculated on a motive in either shooting. Multiple attendees at the Alabama party were worried about potential violence before the shooting started. Earlier in the night, the mother of the birthday girl, Alexis Dowdell, asked anyone with a gun to leave the building, according to multiple witnesses. One of the victims, 23-year-old Corbin Holston, only arrived at the party after one of his younger siblings feared trouble, Holston's family told local media. So it's been you has that shooting in Alabama, another shooting now in Texas. It's a whole host of shootings at parties and gatherings, and I don't know if it's something in the water or a new experiment from the government. I don't know what it is, but more craziness happening. All right, so I am going to do a Sunday show. I just wanted to do a weekly update and kind of catch up with all of you because I felt bad. I've been off the thing for 3-4 days. So we'll see you Sunday for the Shitbag Roundup, and we're going to get into more of the stories that have been going on this week and things that we've missed. All right. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you Sunday.